What's going on, traders? Welcome to my stream. Currently, as you know, I'm a day trader and I trade stocks. And what you're gonna expect from my live stream are A quality type setups. And on Friday, as well as on Wednesday, AGFY got on my radar, and I'd like to discuss that because it made a really significant move. So as I look at the top gainers in the morning as I live stream, for my subs, I take a look at many securities, especially the top gainers over 80%, and I try to manage a good risk reward entry and see whether or not the stock's a good buy to make a significant amount of profit. So we have here, as always, use trading is risky. Do not blindly follow me. Takes significant amount of work, and we're gonna go into the details here. AGFY got on my radar. Probably is gonna be around over here where we had a 65 break. Right about here is the 65 cent break. Right about there. And what I like to teach in most of my courses, as well as most of my um, member content, is when you have a stock, as you can see here, I like to buy clean charts. That means on the daily, you see the most amount of shares. It was 8 million here, and you can see 8 million, about 8 million, and that was in the 140. So the stock, as it spikes up, it's not gonna have good resistance. It's not gonna have any resistance up to here. We had another candle over here. This candle is about, let's see if we can draw the candle, 28, 27 million. And on this day, when it broke, um, 65, it broke with a volume higher than 27 million. That means these bag holders here, are sitting in the green, and they're not gonna put a ceiling on the stock. So therefore, the stock broke 66 cents and ran to 115. Obviously, this was the long idea. If you had it on your radar. Other than that, the way it traded that day, let's see if we can go back to that day. As you can see here, the 65 break, it kind of just hit 65, came back down, came over here, broke 65, and kind of never looked back. You can see it made a huge move up to $1. So everybody was watching that area on pretty hefty volume here. You can see here on the what's it called? On the 5 minute, it pretty much put a million shares in there. So it's very liquid, if I had to say. And it broke the 65 key level and had a nice spike to $1. That's a significant amount of move, and I think I saw this whole thing over here. It came back down to the trend line, and it spiked a bit more and hit 105, and just and then hit 115. So I initially did not trade this whole breakout here, but I did see it as a potential buy here. And but what I did was I alerted to my subs in my live stream that I bought the secondary breakout, and you can see here that the next day, as you can see here, the next day was a consolidation area, and the best place to go long is would be 105. It broke the day if it broke the day before high. I like to watch stocks as they go up, consolidate a bit, and buy the secondary breakout. And this is the area that I did buy it. Around I'll show you exactly where I did buy it for my subs in the live stream. Let's see if we can get to my area that I did buy it. So what initially happened here, it broke 115. As you can see here, it broke 115. This is the area that I was watching, and 115 area right there, and that corresponded with the daily resistance area of 115 here. And then what you want to do here, as I saw this whole price action here, what you want to do is to buy the dip. So That's what I wanted to see. So you had a 2-day consolidation breakout area of 115, and then you gotta have to buy the dip. So the area that I did buy the dip was around 113, around VWAP right there, 113. It actually pulled a little bit much lower. It actually pulled back lower to VWAP, actually under VWAP around 108. I kind of got a little anxious on this position, but it ended up working out for everybody that was watching my live stream on my Zoom for my subs. And it ended up working as a really nice gain. For those that watch this stock, as this stock, held 115 most of the day, and then it pretty much just, it was bouncing off 115 all day, and then it pretty much just hit about 150. So 115, so definitely a good area to go long. Probably as you see the secondary breakout here and buy the dip. With good risk management, the stock, if you were to long it at 110, 113, and sell it into the 150s, you would end up with 20-30% on your money. Actually, 115 to 150 would be pretty nice. So anyway, these are types of setups that I look for into my Zoom as well as for my subs. I break down key setups like this in my video library, as well as I try to I Zoom each day starting at 7 o'clock each day. A couple of things about AGFRY would like to go over. So we're gonna go into Paint. So you're gonna see a little bit my criteria for looking at stocks. Let's see if we can get the window capture. Paint. 1 second. Window capture. 1 second. There we go. We got Paint here. So, uh, so my criteria. Let's see if we can get the. Let's see. There we go. We got the window capture right there. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. So, so this is Paint. I'm gonna try to zoom it out a bit. We can get it together here. So my criteria for buying stocks and trading stocks and making money in the stock market are as follows. Uh, Criteria for buying stocks. Um, we're gonna go through review because I look at this checklist that you might want to put on your radar. Criteria for buying stocks. So number one criteria for buying stocks is gonna have to be, um, you know, clean chart. One, clean chart. That means there's no back holders on the chart. No bag holders on the daily that will put a ceiling on the stock. So in this situation, if I were gonna look at the daily here, you can see so that I've discussed you had a 24 million block here on November, what is it? October 5th. And then this 25 million block on this day, I think it had, I don't know, 62 million. So, these bag holders are in the green. So if the volume exceeds this candle here, you have no resistance. You can see so that the resistance is way above over here. This is just pure technical analysis, and you have some resistance here. Just looking at the daily. So you look at the volume. The first resistance was 65. We broke that level, so now it becomes a clean chart, and the next resistance would have been 135. So that's a huge range from 65 to 135. That's like you can make twice your money here. You can see so that here there's no, volume. So that clean chart, as soon as this broke 65, takes an effect because, the volume exceeded this October volume high. So therefore there's no bag holder, so there's no ceiling on it. So right now this is a clean chart. So and here as well, it broke 115. So 115 was this previous volume, which was 60 million. So if it broke 60, this daily high of 115, that means that's a daily breakout, and that means that these people that bought here, they held for one day, and some of them were red, considering some of them bought over 95 cents because it dipped back down to 75 cents. So these people are all in the green, and they're not likely going to sell if the stock breaks 115. So in this situation where it did a 65 breakout, it was a clean chart. And in the second situation in which it broke 115, it was also a clean chart. And you can see so by the intraday price action that buying the dip would have been a successful trade as it dipped back down to 110 and ramped back up to 150 to 15. So we're gonna go look at this. So clean chart has been checked off my list. I'm gonna take a green, checked. Broke daily resistance. That's probably another criteria over here. Broke daily resistance, which it did at 65 cents and 115-ish. So we got that checked. I'm gonna put checked over here. And then we gotta look at the float. The lower the better. So we're gonna look at the float. Low float. What is a float? You're gonna have to Google that. Float is the amount of shares that you and I can trade. The more people, the lower the float, the lower the supply. And as demand increases, the stock will move further. Then, Apple is a high float, so it only moves like 1%. So, and it has like 1 billion float. Ideally, float lowest the better. In this situation, AGFY had a 25 million float, which is actually quite high, but considering the stock price is low, around $1, 25 million is not a high. 25 mil, that's a medium size float. Medium size float, so I'm probably gonna put, a darker blue. Medium float. So it's not a high float, but it's not a low float. A low float is under 10 million. Medium float is 25 million. It's pretty medium. High float is like 50 million. And does it have any types of news? I don't really look at the news that much. But if I were gonna look at the news, see if I can see some news here. As you can see the news here. Considering from 10-11, you can see there is why shares are higher, so there's no reason for the stock to be higher. I'm gonna look at Finviz. 1 second. So we're gonna look at so the way to find the float. I'm just gonna go. We go to Finviz, and that's probably a good area to look at. Let's see if we can go back to. Let's go if we can add another chart here. 1 second. So I'm gonna add Finviz here. 1 second. Window capture. There we go. Trying to get this new window capture. There we go. So the way I kind of do it, I go over to Finviz, right here, and I pretty much put in AGFY. As you can see, so here flows 25 million. Actually, it's on the high side. If I were gonna say insider transaction, institutionally owned. This is highly. This is a 30% institutionally owned. The way institutionally owned trade, the way stocks with institutions, they dip it back up. It goes like this. It never goes straight up. Institutions take profits along the way as the stock goes up. So 30% of the float is institutions. The shares of the float, you have 13% short float. Insider transactions, 286. Then we're gonna look at some filings. I don't really look at filings, but if I were gonna look at filings, you can see you got a shelf registration of security, shelf registration. So that's kind of interesting. Got an S3 here. So it's potentially that it's gonna have a offering. You see, so we may from any time in one of these classes up to 200 million common stock. So they have a shelf. They registered in so they have a shelf. So there's a potential offering coming. You can see, so they registered 200. They can sell 200 million worth of stock at any time. So that is kind of like a red flag, because that means that, you know, this was on June. Um, so that's important. That's very important because on June, they have they're able to do an offering and the stock can drop like 30%. So if that happens, that would be pretty nasty if I were going to be long. So, you know, that's important. Let's see if we can get some. So that's Chrome. So that's important. So the stock on June. So they have a shelf registration over here. So they issued a shelf registration. I don't know. I am not really good into filings, but I can see that there's an S3 there that was issued on June. And I don't really read filings that much. I read the price action and where to position my position. Yeah, so they can do an offering at any time. So that's like a red flag. So we're gonna put that. We're gonna put that on the checklist. Possible offering. Offering. I don't even look at filings. I look at technicals. S1 up to 200 million in to sell, to do offering. So that is a red flag on it. Red flag. But so keep that in mind if you're you know, holding this over the weekend and thinking it's gonna go to the moon and it's gonna keep going, and they might do an offering in the middle of the day or in the pre-market or in the aftermarket. So, that is the criteria for me buying stocks. My risk management is pretty good. Um, and we'll see. The next resistance for this stock is probably going to be around. I mean, I'm definitely certain that this stock's going to be on people's radar. And I mean, if I were going to look into buy it, it would be a day trade only, in which I buy and sell uh, securities the same day. So if I were gonna wake up in the morning, I will be eyeing this 154 breakout for potential more upside. And then I would be looking to sell for possible 10, 15 cents or 20 cents into the Monday push because the next resistance is possible 175. We might hit that on Monday. Other than that, make sure you like this video, comment, like, subscribe. And make sure you subscribe to my private website, in which I Zoom on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10, for these setups. Other than that, um, that is the game plan for next week. And there were a lot of green flags, and there's also one red flag. Stay tuned for my next video, and make sure you take notes on this criteria for buying stocks, and so you can make good risk management and manage your risk better and have better trades and become a consistently profitable day trader.